What's going on, guys? Jake, we're back in for another YouTube video. So taking a look at the ground effects on the car when the car was actually put together with the whole front bumper, side skirts had the spats on them, rear bumper had the spats on it. I decided that the front bumper just didn't really look quite level with the whole rest of the car. So I bought a part to try to solve this, which is in this box right here with this amazing packaging. This is basically a front lip for a specific JDM bumper. I forget what they call it. They might call it like a sports bumper for the 0405 chassis. Technically it does not fit properly on the 05 STI bumper, but in this video I'm going to take it to a body shop and they're going to try to retrofit this thing onto my Forester STI front bumper, so then that way when you put the car together all the ground effects will be similar, and also it's just another addition to the whole build. You guys know the objective pretty much is that I want it to be like no other car ever has been, and I want it to be unique in a whole bunch of different ways, more than just one, and this is going to add to that completely. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing unboxed, not out here in the yard, but then we'll kind of mock up the STI front bumper and we'll mock up this lip on it, and you guys can get an idea of what my goal is, and also I'll put some pictures up on the screen and kind of describe what I'm trying to get at. So if you guys like this type of content, be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button. I think we're really going to come up with something cool here, as long as the body shop can put it together and make it look how I want it to look, because this is something that nobody is really doing. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I'll see you guys when we unbox it. Alright, so I just got it unboxed. First impressions, the packaging was great. And also I'll link this down in the description if any of you guys have a similar idea and looking to do the same kind of thing. But this front lip is actually made out of fiberglass, so it's actually pretty heavy duty. It's just a replica lip. I believe this is something that Subaru may have made in Japan at some point, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And like I said, this doesn't exactly fit my bumper specifically. I did get my bumper out of storage to go ahead and show you guys. So you guys can kind of see what I'm working with here. It doesn't fit at all right now, but basically this is going to be modified to fit on the bottom end of the STI bumper. So I'm not sure if I can actually mock it up any better than what it is right now, but let's see. And I'm not too worried about it like scratching my bumper up right now, because obviously everything's gonna get painted at some point. So yeah, it kind of looks like terrible right now, but I think it has some potential. So that is the goal here. Some potential to basically help the ground effects of the front of the car. So it's gonna have to be cut, modified. I want it to wrap around the fog light pretty nicely and then kind of be molded into the back of the bumper. So hopefully if everything goes right, you won't even know that this bumper has been modified after paint and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like right now. Next time you guys probably see it, it'll be a little further along. It'll probably be like molded together already. So I'll catch up with you guys then. Alright, so it is a long time since those first intro videos were filmed. A lot has happened with the bumper. It's taken a while, but I always like to say Rome wasn't built in a day. So we have been working on it slowly and steadily. The story after that video and the reason why it has taken so long, I took it to a body shop local here, and they had it for about 3 or 4 months, and they never got around to trying to work on it. And so I ended up having to go get it from them, and I was kind of limbo mode trying to find somebody to work on it. So then when I made the decision to get the car painted, I really tried to convince the paint guy to help me out and get me going on it. So we ended up getting something going there, but before we get into what it looks like now, I want to go ahead and go over some photos that I got inspiration from that I found online, and this is the reason why I wanted to do it. So we're looking at the same screen here. It is a picture of the car when it was put together. It's a pretty old picture, it's about 1.5 years old. But anyway, as you can see, the main reason I wanted to do this was the ground effects from the front spats, rear spats compared to the front bumper. So if we zoom in here, you can really see that the spats right under the passenger side door are about 3 or 4 inches lower than the front bumper. And for it to all work out, I didn't really think that looked the best. And also, you know, the rear spats go along with the front spats, and it all just didn't really flow very good. So I basically thought that we could go ahead and do something like this. As you can see on the screen here, it looks almost like an STI bumper that's been modified, and you can see they have like the front mount intercooler kind of cut out there. Still have the STI fog lights, which I have the fog light covers, but you guys get the gist. And you can see on the bottom, it's like a kind of big like lip molded on, and you can see even though this thing doesn't have the same spats as my car, it's about the same as far as ground effects, from the front to the middle and back to the rear. Might be a little lower on the rear, but you guys get the idea. So I also got some inspiration. This is actually, so this is a draw up of the car, but this is actually somebody trying to mold a front lip to the STI bumper. So right here you can see he's molded it, and it looks pretty decent. It adds some ground effects to the front of the car. And here's how he did it. I guess he kind of stapled them together. Turned out really, really good. I really like how it looks. It definitely looks unique, and doesn't seem like a lot of people have done this. So now we can move on to what I had done, and you can see here, this is kind of where we're at now with the front bumper. This is like a few weeks ago when the paint guy was just kind of wrapping up some loose ends and trying to get it back to me so I could test fit it on the car before he did his final prep work and paint work. But as you can see, he's got it molded on here. And if we zoom in, you can see kind of the edges, stuff like that. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Here's another picture from the other side. And yeah, so at this point I was really curious to see how good it flowed with the front to the middle to the rear, because this was going to be my first look of this thing actually on the car. So then I picked it up from him, and after I worked on it that Saturday, here's a photo of me test fitting all the front end parts on the car. So I was really actually very happy with how it turned out. We'll show some more pictures of the ground effects here in a minute, but as you can see, it's just kind of loosely sitting there, propped up on some wood, but looks so good. I'm very happy with how the front bumper is coming out. We can go to the picture from the other side, so there's a little more close up. Like I said, it's just a mock-up, but you can see, kind of start to see how it flows with the front to the middle, but very happy with that. I also was very excited to get rid of that front end license plate where he leveled out the license plate there. He didn't really want to fool with that, but he ended up helping me out, so that's really good. Couple issues that I had initially when I first got the bumper back and where it was when you're seeing those photos. On the sides here, if we zoom in and we mark it up here, you can see right here, it almost looks like the front end is kind of like flared out. And I think that's because the lip obviously was not made for this front bumper, and he was molding it on there, so it didn't quite stretch around the corner. But I had a solution for this. I had a fiberglass guy. So the front lip is fiberglass, the front bumper is plastic. So I had a fiberglass guy come in and cap these off for me. I just wanted to make sure that the fender well clearance was the same on all sides, and he helped me out with that. So we can go to the next picture. There's a better picture on the other side. Yeah, here we go. So in this photo, you can kind of see that the front bumper is just about as low as the front spat. So definitely made it about 4 inches lower than what it was. So I was happy with that. Go to the other side. This photo you can really see it where it's real stretched out here. So it almost looks like the fender well was chopped up to be able to fit the big tires in there, but it wasn't how it was modified and put on and how it had to be modified. So yeah, here's a photo of the back. He tried to fill it in with some foam to give it a little extra support, which that was a good idea, but we ended up doing something different. So here is what we did with the fiberglass. My fiberglass guy did a really good job. I didn't actually get to fit it on the car again after he did this, because I recently just took it to my guy to get the final paint job on it. But here's how it's looking. You can see the contour of the front bumper really flows into where the fiberglass was, and there's no sharp turns or anything. It really looks stock. So that was the whole goal, was to just make this thing look like it has never been modified and make it look like it belongs there. So I think we pretty much achieved that so far. As of right now, the front bumper is at the paint shop getting the final tune-up and final prep work before it gets painted. So he did have a couple spots not quite fully symmetrical on both sides, so if you looked at it really closely, you'd be able to tell kind of it wasn't fully symmetrical. But I showed him these areas and he understood and he was ready to fix it up. So dropped it off there, and I picked up my hood that I got him to paint. I got him to paint a stock NA hood from a Forester, so I can run that whenever I want to. And he also deleted the windshield wiper nozzles out of the hood. So I'm super excited to show you guys that. But you'll have to stay tuned for the next video, and hopefully I'll have the front bumper back in the next couple weeks. So I'll be able to actually put the front bumper on the car. We'll get the manifold bolted down, and then it's really close. So really excited to get this thing on the road and show it to you guys. It's been a long time coming, but for those of you guys who stay tuned, really appreciate the support, and we'll be back for a new video soon, so stay tuned. Peace.